Captain Dean Show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Dean Show. I am Captain Dean, and on this episode, we are once again going to dive into the world of my love for Van Halen. After I did the FrankenBee and did an episode on that a while back, I'd had this for a long time. Of course, it was heavily inspired by Wolfgang having one, but of course, my love and fandom of Van Halen in general, I just thought it'd be cool to have a Van Halen bass. I got to thinking about the idea of doing another one, and it came from two things. One, there's a guy I follow on Instagram, and I believe he lives in Florida. He had done a FrankenBee, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. It kind of looks like the Bumblebee guitar from the Van Halen 2 record, the black and yellow stripes. He did a really good job on it, and I thought it was just really cool. And of course, on the, I think, 2012 tour, Van Halen with Wolfgang, Wolfgang had an EVH bass that had been made, obviously custom for him at that point. He had a black body with yellow striped bass. So again, referring back to the Bumblebee bass, I thought that was really cool. And so I was like, if I was going to do another Van Halen guitar, what would I do? Well, that was a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen. I did a FrankenBee, or a Bumblebee, or whatever you want to call it. This, believe it or not, I found on Facebook Marketplace. And it was a really good deal. And the lady that was selling it had no idea what she had. I got this bass for $60, and oddly enough, it was a twofer. It was this bass, which was originally kind of a silver color with a black pickguard. The pickguard was warped and just dirty and looked bad. The body was in pretty good shape, but the headstock didn't make sense to me. I'd seen that shape before, but I'd never had anything like it. There was no brand name on it at all, so I didn't know. I don't have a clue what it is. And the bridge was different, a very different bridge, and it goes through the body, which I don't have I don't have any of these really. So right off the bat, I saw it, and of course, when you do a Van Halen, the maple neck is crucial in order to be accurate. So $60 for this bass. It was in, decent shape, but of course needed some work. I got it for $60. The lady met me in a parking lot while I was out on my delivery route, because I just happened to be in the same area that she lived close to. So it worked out great. She was super nice, and I love just about every bass in here that has come off Facebook Marketplace. Everybody I bought from has been super nice and very good at responding. And they all held up their end of the deal of meeting me somewhere. And I've had very good experiences so far. Knock on wood. So anyway, I got this one. But it also had what's the name of it? First Act. Those basses and guitars and drums that Walmart sold for a long time. Those really decent beginner series instruments. And it was one of those typical First Act basses that kind of had the shape of almost like a Gene Simmons court bass in a way, as far as what I think. And I kept that for a while. I had no plans to keep it personally, but I kept it in my closet for a little bit. And one day I dug it out and it's like, let me clean it up, fix the the pick guard was in bad shape. Check the pickups, make sure the input jack works, and so I made sure the wiring was good. I threw it on Marketplace. Believe it or not, I sold that bass on Marketplace for a whopping $50, which means I got this one for $10. Woo! That's math. Anyway, let's get down to it. It was just a typical P bass. Again, you'll see in the pictures, it was silver with a black pickguard. Nothing special about that. It did have a cool look to it, but it was very dirty. The neck took a pretty good amount of cleaning. Of course, in order to do this, I've dug out my Van Halen 2 record and just did the best I could to be as accurate to the striping as you can, since the bass body is a little bit bigger than a guitar. So the lineup and spacing and everything just changes slightly. But this is the Bumblebee bass that I came up with. The painting was fairly easy. All I really did was sand the silver down, or just basically that top coat of like clear coat that was on it. Sanded that down really smooth. Painted the whole thing yellow, and then I striped it and painted it black. Instead of it being a solid body, which is what Eddie's Charvel guitar was, I thought it'd be cool to make a FrankenBee, because it's the same concept of the Franken bass. It has a cut-off pick guard, and you can see the wiring and everything like that. So to be accurate to Eddie Van Halen's Bumblebee guitar, the paint job was very simple. I've painted a few of these in the past on guitars, and it's an actually easy job to do, striping wise. To be accurate to Eddie's guitar, I painted the pickup covers white. So if you see his guitar, he's got a humbucker and it's white, and a black tone knob to kind of go inside with the Franken guitar, Frankenstein, you know, Franken bass, whatever. Did that to make it accurate. The neck is kind of fat and took me a little getting used to, but it actually plays pretty good. I've played it live a couple times. To be accurate with Eddie's guitar, also I painted the headstock black. So if you look at the Van Halen 2 album cover, inside cover of Eddie with this guitar, it's a black headstock in a Fender shape, but it's a Charvel. And this is what the body looked like. The back, wasn't really 100% sure. I kind of followed the pictures I could find online, but you know how that goes. So, I found this strap at my local music store. Kind of goes with the Eddie thing of what he had on the Unchained guitar, circles, whatever you want to call it. He had a strap very similar to this on that. So I kind of kept it in that vein and went with this just to make it kind of, 70s looking in a way. So yeah, not much to say about it. It is a Franken bass, a FrankenBee, and I like it. I don't play it a lot, but when I do, I really enjoy having this one and having the Franken bass together. I think it was a really cool decision to make this one, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. At some point, I hope to find a cheap bass, yet another P bass with a maple neck online. And if I get it for the right price, I will probably do the black and white striped version. And I'm looking forward to doing that someday. But until then, FrankenBee.
I have no idea what brand name this bass was, but it certainly is cool. It's got a really heavy bridge with a string through body, and I've really enjoyed playing on it since I got it painted and fixed up. I've seen this headstock a few times, but I really don't have a clue what it is. You never know these days how many brands use that same shape. To kind of go along with the Franken bass look, I did the same thing to this pick guard by painting it yellow, striping it, trying my best to match it up, which isn't perfect, but hey, who cares? I think the vintage strap look goes really good with this bass, and I hope to use it on stage more often. That is my FrankenBee. Roll that beautiful bass makeover footage.
Do 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 ba 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 ah. Do 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 ba do 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 do. Ba da da ba 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 da ba ba. Do 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 do. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 boo boo ba ba da ba 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 do 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 ba one ba 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 da ba ba da 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 ba ba da ba ba da ba ba do 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 ba 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 ah do 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 ba do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 boo boo ba ba da ba 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 do 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 ba one